Hey there, welcome back to the Sales It Podcast, the place where vision, discipline, and faith come together to help you grow from the inside out. I'm your host, Emmanuel, and today we are diving into something that might just change the way we work forever. Let me start with to just kick things off, let me start with a question. What if doing less could actually help you achieve more? Yep, think about that. Let that sink in for a minute. What if doing less could actually help you achieve more? So often we confuse being busy with being productive. These two terms are, sometimes interchangeably used. And we manage our time to the minute. We fill up our calendars, we tick off tasks. But still, at the end, we feel like nothing meaningful got done, yeah? If it sounds familiar, then today's episode is about flipping the script. It's about we're trying to shift from time management to impact management. We are talking about the top 5 ways to focus on impact, not just time, impact. And it's those simple, powerful shifts that you can make to ensure your energy is going where it actually matters. So let's get into it. Let's begin. Let's let the drums roll. Let the energy flow. Before we jump into the list, let me share something personal. So last week, we talked about the top 5 habits of highly productive people. But this week, I want us to zoom in on something even more precise. Impact. Last time we just talked about the general idea of productivity, right? Today, I want us to go into details, talk about zoom. We talk about impact. Did I say we talk about Zoom? Right? Zoom meeting. This idea has been growing in me for a while, and it even clicked more when in episode 60 with high performance coach Dino Delplesh. We talked about how we are not just here to manage time. We are not on this world to manage time, but we are here to create change. We are here in the world to create change, to do the work that actually moves the needle. As I highlighted last week, growing up, my dad used to challenge us not to waste time. Even during holidays, even when we wanted to relax, he'll just ask, don't you have any homework? And when we say no, he'd say, then go read something. Yeah. At that moment, at that time, it was actually annoying. But looking back now, I realized that he was just teaching us to value our time, not just to fill it, but to use it to grow and contribute. Now, I read constantly. I think of every minute as a seed I can plant. And eventually, I even began applying this mindset of doing little every day toward the most impactful things, whether it's business, health, faith, or serving others. And here's what I have learned already. Here's what I have seen. People who are making the biggest impact, the Elon Musks, the Dangotes, the Bezos, have the same 24 hours, but they are not just managing their time. They are managing the impact. As the billionaire said, and I think I talked about this in the previous episode as well, my single day can have multiple 24 hours because it's me who plans what to do with the time I have. What that means today, we are unpacking it. The whole idea behind this saying of my day can have multiple 24 hours. Today, let's unpack this saying with 5 strategies that you can use from now. The first strategy, the first way, the first method is to prioritize high leverage tasks. Now, the first thing is just to ask yourself, in doing this, in prioritizing high leverage tasks, the first thing that you can do is just ask yourself what tasks move the needle the most. Because I believe that not all tasks are equal. You can try to use tools like, let's say, the Eisenhower matrix to separate urgent versus important tasks, and then low impact versus high impact tasks. For instance, answering every email sometimes can feel very productive, but how about writing a proposal that actually lands you a big client? Think about that matrix. That's what we mean by impact. So what you can try to do on this aspect here is Each morning you identify your one high impact task, just one, and then make it your priority throughout the day. Just you know that today I must achieve this, so every block within the day will contribute towards that big impact, that high impact that you are aiming for in the day. The second strategy here is learn to say no, or just say not now. Simple as that. Now, this second way, I believe it can be difficult for some of us, but I want you to realize that every yes to something is a no to something else. The moment you say yes to something, to one thing, you're saying no to another thing, right? I realize that highly impactful people say no often, and it's not just out of arrogance, but for clarity. It is because they are setting their minds on a clear path. That means you woke up from the morning, this is what I intended to do, so I can say no to something else. And from my talk with Dino Delplesh, I understood that impact management starts with knowing your mission and letting that mission actually filter your decisions. Try that simple method of just asking, does this align with my mission, or does it just feed my ego? Because sometimes we do things that are to just fuel our egos and all that. Let go of the non-aligned commitments, and even if they look good on paper. The third thing is batch and automate repetitive work. If something is done weekly, try to automate it. Because and as well, if it requires focus but it isn't creative, you try to batch it. If it is done repeatedly, you automate it. If it requires focus but it is not that much creative, try to batch it. Here are I have some examples to make this concept easier. Let's say you're responding to DMs, right? You batch them up into a 30-minute block. You're posting to social media, isn't it? Now you use scheduling tools. You're sending, let's say, invoices to your clients and all that. You try to automate your reminders. This concept will eventually free up mental space for deep and meaningful work. The fourth strategy is delegate whenever possible. Try to delegate tasks whenever possible. You can do anything, but you cannot do everything. You can do anything, but you cannot do everything. Think of delegation just as an impact multiplication. This is where you are trying to multiply your impact. Because when you trust others to handle some parts of the work, then you free yourself to focus on what you're really good at, your strengths. For example, at OC, right? I don't try to design every flyer, curate every event from scratch, or even write every proposal by myself. I sometimes try to empower my team, because that's leadership, isn't it? And that's actually the impact that we are talking about. And then when you look at this podcast itself, I don't also try to do everything by myself. I initially was editing and all that, but then now I have an awesome video editor, and on one hand I have a great system that helps me share this weekly knowledge with you. See? Simple as that. Don't just work in the system, work on the system. And then fifth strategy is schedule focused deep work sessions. Now, we should understand that multitasking kills impact, right? Because you're just trying sometimes to just catch up with time, right? Instead, you can try to carve out deep work blocks where your phone is off, the tabs are closed, and your full attention is just on one simple or meaningful tasks. Yeah, on one simple meaningful tasks. Task. Brother, why am I saying tasks? Anyways, you can give the Pomodoro technique that I mentioned in the Learning Better episode. Just the episode before last week. The week before last week. Yeah. The 25 minutes of deep work, 5 minutes of rest, and then you do 4 cycles, then you take a longer break. Simple like that. Guard your energy, not just your calendar. Now, let's do a recap. If you were with me from the beginning, here are the Impact 5. Prioritize high leverage tasks. Learn to say no. Batch and automate. Things that are not so creative, you batch them. Things that are repetitive, you automate them. Number 4, delegate wisely. Create systems or find people that can help you in accomplishing what you want to accomplish. Number 5, schedule times for deep work, not deep work. Anyways, yep, that's it for this episode. And here's your challenge for this new week. Since it's a new week, here's the challenge that I have for you. Just try to identify one high impact task, just one, and then this high impact task, try to see if it aligns with your mission. If it aligns with your mission, then pick it, and then block out time this week to just focus on it without any distraction, and then track how it actually felt, what changed. And maybe if you're bold enough, you can share with me. You can share it with me. You can tag at Emmanuel E. Saitoti on socials, or you can just DM me. Let's build just a community of people, not just chasing time, but creating a meaningful impact. This world is given to us to domineer over, and so let's create impact over the world. Before we wrap up, remember one thing before we completely wash our hands. Is it wash our hands? Yeah. Before we completely wash our hands, remember one thing. Time is fixed, but impact is fluid. Time is fixed, but your impact can change over time. It is fluid, not fluid dynamics. Fluid. It is fluid. You may not control the hours of your productivity. You may not control the hours of your day, right? But you can control what you do within them. You may not control actually the 24 hours of your day, but you can actually regulate as to what you do within them. Your calendar shouldn't define your productivity. It's your clarity that should define your productivity. How clear are your goals, and which impact are you creating? And as we always say here on the Self Seed Podcast, plant the right seeds, nurture your vision, reap the impact. I'm Emmanuel. Stay rooted, stay intentional, and maybe I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and share it with someone if you found it useful. Share it with someone else so that they can also get to grab a thing or two from the conversation. Anyways, see you next time.